Hello YouTubers, I want to welcome you to another edition of Bargain Bin Gear. And in this episode, it's a little different because here, rather than talking about just guitar gear, we're talking about kind of music studio gear, if you like. Alright, now, depending on your setup and things, for me, recording-wise, right, and making these videos, by the way, right, all depends on a PC, right, with a computer DAW, a digital audio workstation, basically a PC. Okay, now, very first thing is the audio interface, and I can show it to you here. And I use a Motu Audio Express audio interface. It has 2 mic inputs and I believe 2 analog just line inputs, 1/4 inch, and then a SPDIF input. Okay, so I use that, and so when I'm playing, recording and that kind of thing, you can see it here. Alright, and that works fine with this thing. This is the online software, and you'll see it's a mixer, right here. So when I'm playing, here's the software I'm using right now, and it's just a simple 2-track software, right? So press play, and so basically the audio is coming out of the PC into the audio interface and under these little monitor speakers right below the audio interface. Right? Okay. Now, here's what's cool. When I started, I was on a big old desktop PC, which was a nasty machine because it was so noisy. So I switched to this old laptop, right here, and it's an old Dell. I think it's an i3 or something like that. Old desktop. Remember, for audio, you really don't need a super powerful machine, you know, unless you're running a DAW with a ton of plugins, which I'm not. Okay, but that's not what I'm here to talk to you about. From there, I went to this machine. Let me show it to you. Right there, this is a Dell all-in-one with a touch screen. In other words, the computer is built into the screen. And it's okay, but the touch screen is very iffy, and it jumps around. And quite frankly, it's not all that powerful. You know, especially doing video production. I had a lot of buffering and that kind of thing. So recently, I discovered one of these, and this is really what this video is about, because it is so cool. And it's this little box right here. Look at that. Well, that's tiny. Tiny little box. However, inside this box is an Intel N95 processor, 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM, and 512 gigabytes of SSD storage, hard drive. And the graphics, I'm not sure what they are, but they're awfully fast. And the price was $144 delivered, brand new from Amazon. $144. And it's the G3K Plus Kawaii, I think it is. And let me tell you something, it is great. I highly recommend it. Now it can handle 3 monitors. I've only got one hooked up here. As you can see, it runs my software and my audio interface. But there's more than that. Let me show you. There's YouTube. Look at that color. And it's fast as can be. And I can choose any of these. Yeah, some kind of ad. Alright. And we're gonna run that at no issues at all. I mean, it's just pretty sweet. For 4K, that's pretty darn good. No stuttering, no buffing. Right? I've got other stuff open here. Facebook, Motu webpage, Google webpage, eBay, Outlook, and Amazon. All that's running off this little PC. How cool is that? And as a bonus, let me show you this. Oh yeah, I forgot I also have a video editor running. Right. So let me show you the editor, video editor. And I'd like to know too. One other thing, right? A 1x12. Okay. That's an old video, but my goodness, is it fast. Okay. And here's the big deal too, is, let me close some of this stuff up. Man, I've got a lot of stuff running here. Notice I've got Windows 11 Pro. Comes with it. It's already set up, you don't have to mess around with much. You do have to load the security updates, but other than that, that's about it. So all this for $144. I mean, I remember for this kind of quality and speed and so on, I mean, you definitely had to spend, you know, $500–600, if not more than that, for a decent PC. Here, that's not the case at all. And in fact, it's very quiet. unlike the all-in-one, which I can hear from here, you know, is kind of noisy. So I've been setting this up, right, getting ready to do some recording and video editing. It'll be pretty nice not to have it buffering all the time, you know, because it's slow. And 500 gigabyte SSD drive is really fast, and 16 gigs of RAM makes video editing and so on, and just even watching YouTube a real joy, you know. No buffering or please wait type things, nothing like that. Highly recommended. I mean, this could be your entire audio workstation. You know, now I suppose if you wanted to do CDs, you'd have to get an external optical drive, that kind of thing. And I have to admit, it has a VGA port, and 2 HDMI ports can handle 3 monitors. And what you've been seeing is just a VGA port. I have an old monitor with VGA port, and I'm getting another one, the same monitor, so I can run at least 2 at a time. And the second one I'll be running with an HDMI to digital DVI cable, which I should do to this one too, leaving that VGA port free for a third monitor if I wanted it. Pretty amazing though, I have to admit. So, you don't need, you know, a plus $1,000 laptop or plus $1,000 computer to do your computing, especially audio, you know, as far as recording and things, even running plugins and that kind of thing. Because that little box is more powerful than any of the computers I have here. The all-in-one and the laptop are much smaller and much slower than the little box at $144. That's just crazy. And it works really great. And there are tons of other ones, mini PCs. If you're into gaming and that kind of thing, which is not a bad thing because that gives you even more graphics capabilities and those kinds of things for video production and obviously music production, though you don't need it necessarily, you know. And they go up in price from, you know, however features you want. I'm thrilled with this for $144. No complaints here whatsoever. And so, of course, you have to use USB for the most part, as far as plugging things in, you know. So it's a good idea to get a one of the little USB hubs, you know. Like here's one. This is a portable USB hub that only has 4 ports. But it's better than 1 port. And so you plug that into the little box and then plug your USB devices into that. And it just works great, man. Even the audio, I thought was really good, you know. This kind of just simple, this is just a drum machine. A drum fill, you know. But if you hear it, it's pretty good. And in fact, I can go to the settings here, right? Click on settings. It has Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, those kinds of things. So that would be kind of exciting when you got multiple monitors. In other words, you could be running J Guitar, which by the way is a site I want to mention, jguitar.com, has all kinds of scales and chords and things. Can really help your playing, or at least know what you're playing. You know, you can even type in what notes you're playing, and it'll tell you what chords they are and what scales they work with and those kinds of things. It's called jguitar.com. So you could have jguitar.com on one monitor and then everything else running on the other monitor, but it's all coming from that one box, that little tiny box. So that's the G3K Plus, I think it is. Right, $144 on Amazon. Amazing. With built-in Windows 11 Pro. Pretty nice. You know, a license of that alone is like $200. So to get it free with this little computer is amazing. Alright, I wanted to show you that. I'll show you the finished products once I get everything set up here. Right now I'm kind of wiring it together and those kinds of things. Alright, very good. I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.